friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside and this week's nursery tour. I always want to say like this week's weekly nursery tour, but then there's a lot of weeks in there, so sometimes I just have to stop and think for a minute. But welcome to Gardening with Creekside. We are going to do a little walkthrough of the nursery. That is what we do every week here with our nursery tours. We are showing you real time what is growing, blooming, and thriving here at the Garden Center. Remember, we are North Carolina, Zone 7B, just west of Charlotte in the Piedmont of North Carolina. October is here in all of her glory. We're actually having a true fall. It is fantastic. Warm days, cool nights, all the leaves are changing and starting to fall. It is fantastic. We're going to go through and show you, give you some ideas of things that you can incorporate into your garden now and in the coming weeks. Remember, in the fall here in the southeast, it is the perfect time to be adding your trees, shrubs, and perennials to your landscape because it has lots of time to get nice and adjusted and established before next summer's heat hits. I am planting like crazy with adding in some shrubs and perennials here in little pockets. We're getting ready to start a big project later on today. It's a little teaser video coming soon. So now is like go time for here in the southeast. It's the perfect time to do it. Now, we did a video a couple of weeks ago where I showed you when we were planting the water trough at the front of the barn, and that is just kind of our seasonal display, right? And we switched it up this year and we were using some evergreen trees and shrubs along with fall color. And a lot of you have responded really well to that and are excited about that, and you're taking that idea and you're tweaking it and to fit your own garden. So we're going to show you down here in this little corner some ideas of plants that you could use in containers as a temporary, you know, arrangement. And when I say temporary, I mean like this fall, winter, and into spring, and then when you're ready to do your summer stuff, you can take them out and plant them in your landscape. These are the Enthusia Green Giants. I had to remember which one it was. Green Giants are a fantastic, easy, low maintenance, evergreen tree that will eventually get massive. We have 3 at our house that are like 20 feet wide at the bottom, 15 to 20 feet, and like 30 to 40 feet tall. They're huge. So they're great for privacy. In arrangements and containers this time of year, they're great for structure. Now they do have some leaves in it because, you know, this is real life here. But they're great for structure in containers. And this is a 3-gallon container. So if you have a pot that's like a 16-inch or bigger, this will fit perfectly in there. So you can put that in there. You could put some of like the Ms. America mustard, which is that like burgundy, almost black mustard in there, and then some pansies or violas in there. Really bring height and structure and lots of gorgeous colors with other things that you put in there. So we have the Green Giants. We also have these beautiful camellias because we are about to go into camellia season here, folks, and it is like one of the most wonderful times of the year here in the South. We do love and adore our camellias. This one is from Southern Living, and this is October. Magic Ruby. That's right, October Magic Ruby. And Ruby, I guess you can guess what kind of color it is. It's a beautiful, deep, dark red. And it is a full sun loving camellia. So the ones from Southern Living, like the new hybrids, can handle a lot more sun than our old timey ones. So these are sasanquas, little tiny leaves on them, so they will bloom first. So we're getting ready to go into camellia season. Fire Chiefs. These are the Fire Chief arborvitaes that I used also in the water trough. I love this plant, not only for a container. We need to put some in the landscape because one, they're super soft. Like I would not be able to do this to a, you know, like a cedar or something that's really kind of pokey and spindly. It's very soft. And what's great about the Fire Chiefs is that, like other arborvitaes, what they will do is when the cooler temperatures come on, you'll notice it's starting to get a little bit of a, what I would say, brown or coppery hue to the top of it. It is not dead. If it were dead, it would be falling off in my fingers. That's just what they do. Deep down inside of it, it's nice and bright green. It's like they are they're color changing by the temperatures, right? And so they'll get a beautiful bronze color, hence the Fire Chief name. These will be like a 3x3 evergreen, low maintenance, what we call like a foundation planting. So you can put these in your landscape and or that container. So it would be, again, beautiful with fall color around the bottom of it. Really, really nice. Love these Fire Chiefs. And then of course the Pugsters. Pugster Blue is, we have a little skink down here that's very happy that he's on one, but not very happy that I'm here. Pugster Blues are a petite dwarf butterfly bush that we call these are semi-evergreen. So you can see that we still have blooms that are going. You could come in here if you wanted to and deadhead it. I don't know that we're going to get a whole new flush of blooms because as far as our weather, it's looking a little cool, but they are semi-evergreens. So even in the winter, they're not going to completely drop all of their leaves. So this would give you structure in a container as well. And then of course you have lots of the blooms going into late in the season. These will stay like a 2x2. So they're nice and petite, do really well in containers, absolutely for sure. And then of course we have one of our most popular shrubs. This is the Sunshine Ligustrum, and really would be nice. So if the dark green of the green giant is too much for you, or you don't think you could handle something that big in your landscape later on, maybe you will go for a Sunshine Ligustrum. These are evergreen. They have very nice soft foliage to them. The more sun they get, the more yellow they are. So if you're in shade, then they're going to turn green, which is not a bad thing, but to have that sunshine look to them, you need to have that sun, and they are at maturity, you can keep them anywhere between 3 to 6 feet tall, but they prune really well. We always prune ours once a year. So Sunshine Ligustrums are another great option, as are the azaleas. Azaleas are coming in because we have a lot of reblooming azaleas. Here we've got like the reds from Proven Winners. We've got the Bloomathon reds. We also have, this catches everybody's eye. This is the Bloomathon dark pink. Bloomathon pink double. I'll get it right here in a minute. Bloomathons will be a little bit bigger at mature size than say a Perfecto Mundo from Proven Winners. Perfecto Mundo will stay in that like a 2 to 3 foot size, whereas the Bloomathons will get in that, I want to say 3 to 4 foot size. And of course these are a southern shrub, zones 6B to 9, and lots of sun. They need to have lots and lots of sun in order to get the energy to produce those beautiful double, oh my gosh, so pretty. They almost remind you of like a carnation. So can you imagine having these out in your yard right now and they're just blooming their little heads off? It's like a Bloomathon series. And then of course you can always have sprinters. Sprinter boxwoods are a fantastic option. Great evergreen. We use these a lot. I have them in my back patio. Fantastic option to add into your landscape. Now, talking about other fall color, we have got some beautiful, of course, like flower power color right now going on. We have got mums that are just looking glorious and beautiful. We've got the purple lining up right here. I do want to give you an update on this Easyscape. So if you remember, we partnered with Walter's Gardens this summer. It really took about a year for us to go through the whole process of creating the recipes. But Easyscapes are an idea from Walter's Gardens, and basically it's a recipe to plant your garden. So if you have a concern that you want to address, so this one is to resist deer. And we worked with them, we came up with our own recipe, and we have 2 that are right here. So this one is for deer resistance, and then we have one up here for pollinator. But I want to show you how amazing this bed looks right now. We planted it, gosh, it was late summer, wasn't it, Jerry? It was like July, I want to say. And these were all plants that we just pulled off of our lot, right? So these were the exact same plants that you could have bought, or maybe you did buy this summer. So in the back, we've got 3 of the, remind me? Evening Rose, that's right. Evening Rose Summerific Hibiscus. So this is a perennial hibiscus. I'm blown away that we are in almost mid-October and these things are still blooming. Like, that just absolutely just kills me. These were 2-gallon size containers, so they were relatively small plants and they have just blown up and are loving life, as is this perennial grass. This is Cheyenne Sky. I love this grass. You will notice that we planted it in mass. That way it brings a big attraction, but it is a more of a petite grass. It's not going to get very much taller than this. It'll get a little bit wider. Nice green, and this is one that you can run your hands through. It won't cut you, but it has darkened up. So it's taken on those red hues and then these great little airy plumes up here at the top. Love that. Then we have the Serendipity alliums. They are past their bloom time, but just imagine all of these with their little sweet purple heads, and then the Paint the Town Dianthus down there at the bottom. We're getting sporadic blooms with that. This is more of a spring bloomer. That's why when we plant these Easyscapes, it is like for a continuous season of color. So you have early, mid, and late bloomers, interest for all growing season. So that is just, it's doing really, really well. Just wanted to show that to you because I've been so impressed. And speaking of impressive, my husband does not grow small mums here at Creekside Nursery. Look at this thing. It is massive. All of our mums are either in, the vast majority are in this 10-inch terracotta pot. We have a couple that are in 3 gallons, but they are all $15. So come and get your mums while they last. We have them basically in this gorgeous full color, and we have them where they are still just starting to crack a little bit of color. So depending on what your needs are, will determine which one you're gonna buy, right? So if you have a birthday party or some sort of gathering, you're gonna want one in full bloom, right? You want it to look good right now. If you're planning for the future, Halloween, Thanksgiving, you're gonna want one that has more of the buds. So these are just gorgeous, but we have them in orange and yellow and red and purple, all sorts of fun, festive white. Let me show you this one. So this is technically a white. It'll start out a little bit of a buttery yellow, but when it fully is opened up, it is a pure white. We have this exact same one on our front porch, and they're in full bloom, and they are pure white. But nice, big, huge, fat flowers on them. Just so pretty. And speaking of pretty, come on in here, because we had a new delivery, new shipment came in, the fall color with the pansies, the violas, the Ms. America mustard. I'm telling you, look at this. Look at that massive plant. Is it not gorgeous? I have used this in multiple different areas, both at the house and here at the nursery, in containers that we have done, and it is rocking out. This is because it is a mustard, a cool weather plant. It will last all season for us here in North Carolina. So you can plant it now and it will go all the way through the spring. But we have got just, I'll let Jerry just kind of pan for you. These are all the pansies on this side, but just a whole fun, different assortment of colors. Some of the flower petals are a little bit more ruffly. We've got more of like purples and soft kind of pastel colors in this shipment. It was just because, you know, what was ready. I am loving this. This is the Matrix Light Blue. Is that not just the prettiest color? I am in love with that color. And so there's lots of different colors. Remember, pansies and violas are a full sun plant. So they need to get 5 to 6 hours of good direct sun in the winter, because if they don't get that sun, then they're not going to produce their blooms. Remember, that sun is the food source for these plants to give them their flower color. Of course, we've got, look at these yellows. I mean, just, or are these considered orange? These are yellows?
Like an orange yellow.
Kind of a yellow.
Turn more yellow at the end.
They do. When they opened up, they were more orange, and then now as they're maturing, they're turning a little bit more yellow. And then the violas, lots of violas. Remember, all pansies are violas because pansies were derived from violas. However, not all violas are pansies. Violas will have a much smaller bloom on it, and we do have some pansies in here, I think. But the violas will have a much smaller flower on them, but they have more flowers per plant. Therefore, it looks like on the plant it has a fuller appearance and it stands out. So we've got some really, if you want to do like your bicolors with the yellow and the burgundy, that's considered called red wing. That's a great one. And then I had a lot of fun this weekend putting in these sweet things. So there's two of them. This is the sorbet series, and this is sorbet yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Looks very similar to the penny marina. And so I put them in the same area, not in the same container, but right there in the same area. Just gorgeous colors. I'll show you what I did here in just a minute. But we just have, like I said, mums of all different sizes. If you're looking to do your different containers and your arrangements, so, you know, grab a shrub, then grab your mustard. You've got, you know, maybe a green shrub, then you've got the dark color of the mustard that's a broader leaf and a little bit more open, and then pair any color that you like of a pansy or viola with it, and boom, there you go. You cannot go wrong. It will be gorgeous, I promise. Perennials, still a great time to add these. I'm going to be adding some monardas and different echinacea to my gardens. So these are fantastic perennials. Remember, perennials come back year after year. For your late summer, early fall color, the sombrero series just does really, really well here for us in North Carolina. So we have a lot of the sombreros. You know, you can look at like the daisies. We have got gorgeous daisies. This is a really fun one. This is spun silk. Oh, and I have another little friend on here. Hopefully he won't jump on me. Oh, he's a little baby. So there's a little baby. I don't know. We'll turn it this way. Here is the tag. So if you like daisies, these are going to be full sun perennials for you that bloom in early summer. Spun silk is really fun because it looks like the flowers have been shredded, right? So it has this really full flower on it, but a really neat, unique appearance to it. And then over here, this is where hopefully the sun won't be too terribly bad. But these were just some little things that I was just playing with this weekend when we were open. I took out the summer stuff, put these guys in. So you can see, now this one I already had and I just left it. This is a guara and an ajuga, left it alone. Came in, put a Miss America, then the white peacock. This is a kale. These will give me some height. Nice color difference. Grab some snapdragons and then violas in here. This was the sorbet. And then down below I did, oh my goodness, there's another little lizard. Either we have a very healthy population or this little guy's following me. And then the marinas are right here. Randy had done this one for me a couple of weeks ago. A mum, you know, the different kind of kales in here. So just have fun, right? So just get creative. There is no like right or wrong. It's just called pick what you like, color difference, and go for it. Coming out here into the pines, can we give them a little update on your latest project?
Sure.
Sure, Jerry says. Okay, so again, of course, great time to add your perennials, shrubs, whether it's for full sun or it's for shade. You just saw me put an Edgeworthia in the ground. We've got Edgeworthias available. We've got, you know, ferns. We've got all sorts of things. Talking about if you're like Jenny, I have shade, I don't have the full sun. What can I do that would be a good container for my shade that gives me something in the wintertime? Well, here you go. Prime example number one. I did this one just a couple of weeks ago. This is an ajuga, and this was in here. I left it in here with from my begonias. Then I put a euchera. This is a black pearl, and then an autumn fern. So the autumn fern is actually, they're both actually growing very well. Got new growth All of this is evergreen. So even in the winter time, if you have shade, you can have containers that have plants and structure in there. You just have to think a little differently. Maybe you're not going to have tons of flowers, but if you put some hellebore or some Lenten roses in there, then you will have flowers. So just think of it differently for the different conditions of your garden. So you know that Creekside Nursery is a grower retailer. That means that we grow the vast majority of our plants and then we sell them to our customers. And speaking of the shade, we have often struggled. We've got tons of areas for sun, right? We do not lack sun here at Creekside Nursery, but we do lack some really good production areas for our shade plants. We have been to the nursery, you know that kind of this little area near the hammock, we will put a lot of our shade perennials in here to grow. This is, I mean, they are for sale, but this is not the main purpose. This is to let them grow and develop. So they're just really kind of slammed in here. It works really well. We've got pulmonaria and hostas. That's the majority of things that are back here. But as we are growing, we need more room. So Jerry had fun one day last week. I was actually at the house and I could hear him in the bobcat and I was like, what is he doing? But he was on the bobcat for a long time. Well, what he was doing was clearing out the underbrush of these trees. So what we're going to do, because of course we do have irrigation here under the pines, we will extend that and we will have nooks and crannies in here with our shade-loving perennials and shrubs that are growing. Now obviously right now it's very rough. This is not anywhere near complete, but he was just coming in here grabbing just the little small spindly stuff, right? Like for example, this maple, this is a volunteer. It's growing right beside a really nice pine tree. Clearly this cannot stay here, so you know that will come out. So those are the kinds of things that he was taking out in here and just kind of clearing them up and pushing them back. So what we will do is get, you know, nice and even in here, get all the little saplings out, and then come in here with some nice thick mulch, lay the mulch down. We will not have landscape fabric in here, and we will have kind of different zones of growing. So we can put our shade-loving hydrangeas in here. We can put our hostas, we can put our ferns, we can put our pulmonarias and our brunnera, those kinds of things. And then we'll probably have to take out maybe one more little tree, but this is a great path for us to be able to come through here with the machinery and pulling trailers and then unload and put in different areas. So if you're coming to the nursery, you know, anytime this fall and definitely next spring, you will see that this area is that shade production. If you see something that you really want, of course we'll sell it to you, but this is just another way that we can kind of grow and develop and use the resources that we have, use the God-given resources of these great pine trees to give us that shade so that we can grow these great plants for you to take home and add to your garden. Let's see, is there anything else, Jerry? I don't think so. We've got a lot going on today. He and I, in fact, are actually, we're wrapping up this nursery tour with y'all, and then we are gonna go head over and get started, take the next step of a really fun project that we have been talking about for, well, since this summer, seriously in the last month. So that video is going to be coming out tomorrow. So make sure that you stay tuned and see that video because it's going to be a big, huge, massive project that's going to be just gorgeous and a lot of fun to do. So as always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.